In this video, we are going to be talking about what spring weeks are, the companies that do them, why they are extremely important, the application process, and what you actually do on a spring week. What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Afzal Hussain. You can find out a bit more about me through the social media links below, or you can check out my website, which is www.afzalhussain.com. Now, if you aren't already, do consider following me on LinkedIn. I've got 37,500 followers there, and I share tips on interviews, assessment centers, internships, work-life balance, all these random posts more frequently than I do post on YouTube. So do consider following me on LinkedIn. And if you want to have an influence on the content that I produce on this channel, be sure to follow me on Instagram. So yesterday, for example, I did a poll where I asked my followers on Instagram if you want me to produce a video on Wednesday on subject A or subject B. Everyone voted for subject B, and so that's the video I'm going to be releasing on Wednesday. If you want to find out what that is, head over to my Instagram and check it out on my Insta stories, and do follow me there. Now, if you haven't subscribed to this channel already, please consider doing so. I post career advice for university students, pre-university students, and even postgraduates who are trying to get into the world of investment banking, professional services, consulting, whatever it might be. Now, if you are new here, I post a weekly video every Wednesday. However, recently I've been doing a few more videos because I understand there's a lot of students and there's been a lot of comments asking for various videos, and so I'm trying to keep up with the demand as much as I can. But my promise to you is one video every single Wednesday. If I do more, it will probably be on Mondays, on Fridays and Sundays, but there you go. Today's video, I want to touch on Insight Weeks. What are they? Just a high level overview of what spring weeks. The term is interchangeable. Spring weeks, Insight weeks, or spring programs, Insight programs, they all mean the same thing. What are they? Why are they so important? And why should you consider applying to them? Okay, so first and foremost, spring weeks, let me just say the applications are actually open right now. They are open from anywhere between September all the way to January. A lot of the applications have closed in November and December. Some of them, it's December the 29th today. Some of them are closing tomorrow. Some are closing on the 31st of December. And some of the spring week application deadlines are in early January. So make sure you watch this video from beginning to end, and then you go and apply to spring weeks if you meet the criteria. And I'll go into a bit more detail on what the criteria are in a bit. Now, spring weeks in recent times have become really important, and the reason for that is because spring weeks are for first year university students, and if you do well on your spring week, which is 1 week of work experience, if you do well in it, then you're likely to get an offer to stay with that company in your second year for your summer internship. And if you do well in your summer internship, they might give you an offer to join them after you graduate. So it's super important because a lot of companies use their spring week interns, or their spring turns if you want to call them that, to fill in their summer applicants, and then a lot of their summer application, successful summer interns, go on to join the grad scheme of that company. So it's a natural recruitment funnel for these organizations, and when you get into a company early on, you build a relationship with the company early on, and that helps you, and it's more natural and it's more smooth to kind of go through the process and get a grad scheme offer at the end. So that's why spring week applications are super important, and you have to apply. If you don't apply to spring weeks or Insight programs, you run the risk of completing your first year of university with no relevant experience. And so when it comes to applying for your second year summer internships, it's going to be relatively harder compared to all the other students who have spring weeks on their CVs. And so it's extremely important to have spring week applications front of mind. And if you're watching this video now and you haven't applied to any spring weeks, I advise you within the next few days, get a few applications out, because the deadlines are fast approaching. Early Jan, second week of Jan, they'll all be completely closed. I know a lot of first years come into the world of university, higher education and study, and you just want to focus on your grades and you want to, enjoy the university experience, and you're kind of wondering, what is this Insight Week, Spring Week program? What is all this nonsense? But it's extremely important, so I highly recommend you to go to the various companies, and I'll touch on the companies in a second, their websites, go to the careers section, and then see if they do a spring week, and make sure you just apply. Okay, which companies offer spring weeks or Insight programs? For the most part, it's investment banks. So you've got the Goldman Sachs's, the JP Morgan's, Morgan Stanley's, Barclays, Macquarie, Rothschild, etc., etc. So the investment banks, professional services firms, so EY, PwC, KPMG, Deloitte, some of them do spring weeks, and you've got the consulting firms and a few others. So most firms in the city offer them, and they are targeted to first year university students or second year university students of a 4-year degree. This is specific for UK students. Okay, now how long are spring weeks? Most firms it's just 1 week long, so it's 5 days, Monday to Friday, and that's it. However, some firms it might be 8 days. Some firms like Goldman Sachs is 2 weeks, so it's 1 week, typical spring week where you're getting lots of training, you're learning about the company, and then 1 week you spend on the desk with an actual team, so you get to meet employees. But for the most part, spring weeks are only 1 week. Okay, now the question you're all probably wondering is what actually happens on a spring week? Like, you join this company and what happens? What do you do for 1 week? First and foremost, you're going to be in a class of a good few. It depends on the size of the company, but it could be anywhere between 10 to 50 to 100 or more fellow spring interns. So all coming students from different universities, different countries sometimes, and you're all interested in joining that company, or you've all got an offer with that company. What often happens the first day or two, you get lots of presentations from different senior business leaders across the company. So people will come from different parts of the bank or parts of the consulting firm and talk to you all and tell you what they do, what a day in their life is like, the roles that their businesses play in the broader scheme for the organization, how to be successful in the company. They just tell you a lot about their work, but also the industry. So you get an insight into the industry. What is investment banking? What is financial markets? They teach you about these areas. What is consulting? So you get an insight into the industry. After that, you get an insight into the company specifically. What makes the company different? What makes the company a leader in its field? Why does the company do things a certain way as opposed to its competitors? You're going to meet lots of people, you get lots of presentations, and you get an insight into the company. You'll also be meeting lots of different employees. You're going to be meeting employees from different divisions. Some insight weeks are specific to a division, so it might be specific to sales and trading, or your insight week might be specific to operations, or your insight week might be specific to the investment banking division. Whichever it is, you're going to be meeting lots of people. You're going to be meeting analysts in the company, associates, vice presidents, managing directors, partners. Now, when you meet all these people, naturally it poses a networking opportunity, but people want to just get to know you, meet you, say hi, hello, talk to the Springtons, and just see what you're about. And it's always good to try and meet as many people as you can, try and get as many business cards as you can, build as many relationships as you can, because after the spring week ends, it's always good to drop those people an email and thank them for their time, because you never know where these connections can end up going. After the first 1 or 2 days, chances are you're going to be work shadowing. What is work shadowing? You're literally going to be sat at the desk. Happy birthday to... It's my sister's birthday. If you want to wish her a happy birthday, leave a comment below and do hashtag HBD. Now, work shadowing. So you're literally going to be sat behind an employee who's doing their work, and they're going to talk you through the different things that they're working on, whether it's a pitch book on PowerPoint presentations, whether it's a valuation model on an Excel file, or whether it's some company research or any type of due diligence on the internet. Whatever work they're doing, or if they're trading on the financial markets, they're going to be telling you, this is what I'm doing right now, why I'm doing it, why it's important, where does it fit into the whole business project or idea that we're working on as a company right now. So work shadowing is that you're literally going to be sat behind people and learning and observing what they're doing throughout the day. It makes it interesting when you're work shadowing different individuals, so it's always good. If they don't give you that exposure, request it. Ask them, can I sit with people from different teams so I can get a different insight? Oftentimes, you know, you don't want to be sat behind someone for like 2 or 3 hours, because that just gets boring. So it's always good to try and mix it up. 30 minutes with one person, 30 minutes with someone else. There's kids screaming outside, so apologies for that if that's coming through on the mic, but okay, another thing that happens on the spring weeks is you might be given a short project. Now, you get 3 to 4 days to work on this project, and then at the end of the spring week, you're going to be required to present your findings or present your work to your team and everyone else that you met on the spring week. It's super important because if you present well and you answer questions well, you're likely to get an offer to join their summer internship on the back of your spring week. So the project that you get, make sure you leverage your resources, make sure you work with your buddy who's usually an analyst that will help you out a lot, make sure you work with different people, learn about the business that you're in, and ace that project. That's what you can expect to be doing on a spring week. And the reason why it's very, very important, because at the end of it, you might either have an interview or an assessment center, and that can lead to a potential offer, which is the main thing you want to get on the back of a spring week, an offer for a summer internship next year. Okay, now what happens after the spring week? After the spring week, it's likely that some firms let you know if you've got an offer for their summer internship right away. But some firms take a few weeks to get back to you, and they will let you know if you've been successful or if not. Or alternatively, they might fast track you into the assessment center stage for summer internships. So that's a positive sign as well. Now, after the internship finishes, or after the insight week finishes, you don't want to end the interactions there. You want to reach out to the people you met on your spring weeks and keep that relationship building going. That's how you network. You build a relationship over time. Once you do that, it's likely that they will be able to help you later on in the process. And that, my friends, is a quick whistle-stop tour of what an Insight Week is, what to expect from the spring week, what you can be doing, and what you should be focused on, i.e. if you enjoy it, secure the offer for the summer internship. More than anything, don't forget, a spring week or any type of experience with any organization is a two-way process. They are assessing you, they want to see if you're the right fit for their culture, but at the same time, you want to see if that company is the right fit for you. Do they have the same values as you? Do they have the same culture? Do you feel like you connect with the employees in the organization? It's very important because you don't want to go and work for a company where you're not happy, where you're not fulfilled, you're not satisfied, you're not enjoying it. And most importantly, you want to do meaningful work, and work that is, that you feel you can wake up to every morning and go and run towards rather than run away from. And the last thing I want to say to you is, if you're in a position to apply for spring weeks and you haven't, make sure you do. It's very, very important for you to get an offer later on. If you need help with your CV, if you need help with your cover letters, any interview help, any phone calls, any help with the application process, check out www.officialcvdoctor.com. That's basically a career consulting startup that I started, and it focuses on helping university students and recent graduates ace the application process and get the best jobs that they're interested in. Thank you for watching this video. I'll be back with another video before you know it, but in the meantime, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and make sure you subscribed if you haven't. If you want to keep up to date with all the videos that I post, turn on the post notifications. That way, every time I release or publish a video, you'll get a small notification letting you know that Afsal's released a video. Now, in my last video, I touched on a small competition I'm doing. I'm giving away a prize worth £50. It's basically a surgery order of your CV. So me recreating your CV for you. And in order to win that prize, go to the community tab on my channel and you'll see a post, what should we name our community? And if you leave a suggestion, you can enter as many times as you want. I'm looking for a name for our community, and the name that gets picked will win the prize. So thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Peace.